And there came a time known as the third millennium, a time when the people of the earth were ravaged by disease, pestilence, and poisons, a time when the horsemen of the apocalypse ran the multinational corporations, a time when America's citizens were waking up to a future of no money and no jobs, a time when a special man came forward, a man that your American taskmasters did not want you to see or hear, a man whom they took prisoner and hid away, a man whose name is Yahweh ben Yahweh. For telling people the truth, Yahweh ben Yahweh was taken prisoner by the minions of darkness. For giving people hope, Yahweh ben Yahweh was led away to Golgotha. This is the continuing story of the past and of the future, about good and about evil, about your life and what it will become. A story that tells why the so-called black man of America had to suffer for over 400 years. A story of what will happen to the so-called black man if he returns to the laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments of God, Yahweh. Olam shall Yahweh. The universe of Yahweh. Brought to you by the nation of Yahweh, working for you and your future.
Good or evil, life or death. This is your choice in this, the year 6001, the year of judgment. Shalom and welcome to the universe of Yahweh. My name is Josiah Israel and I am your host. For over 7 years now, we have been discussing some of the things the Bible said would occur in the day of judgment. We warned you that the weather was going to change and that the powerful forces of nature were going to bring terrible destruction upon America and the world, and that it was going to get worse and worse and worse. And it has. We alerted you that violence in the public schools was going to increase, and it has. We showed you in the scriptures that forewarned of wickedness in high places, and we are witnessing today gross misconduct and serious crimes being committed by some of our highest elected officials. What lies ahead for America and the world is nothing less than the proliferation of deadly diseases and plagues as foretold in the Bible. But there is hope. The Bible tells us that at the end the Messiah would be revealed, and at that time he would save the righteous from this impending destruction. That one, the Messiah, is Yahweh ben Yahweh. So we invite you to join us in the universe of Yahweh, featuring the commandments of Yahweh and the Messiah revealed. First, the commandments of Yahweh.
For 6,000 years, we have been suffering at the hands of rulers who transgress the laws of Yahweh and teach all people throughout the earth to transgress the laws of Yahweh. In order to have peace, love, and harmony upon the earth, we must return to keeping the commandments, judgments, laws, and statutes of Yahweh. All of us have been taught that the commandments, judgments, laws, and statutes in the Old Testament Bible do not count today. In this series, we will show you that the commandments, judgments, laws, and statutes in the Old Testament Bible do count, and that if we govern our lives according to these commandments, judgments, laws, and statutes of God Yahweh, then we will have peace and goodwill upon the earth forever. We invite you to study along with us. However, in order to do so, you must have the following tools: a King James Version of the Bible, several dictionaries, the New Strong's Exhaustive Concordance, a set of encyclopedias, Hebrew and Greek lexicons, a thesaurus, and a synonym finder.
Shalom, my name is Ben-Kail Bethel Yisrael. We shall continue our discussion of the first commandment ever given to man. We want to focus your attention on the fact that Yahweh gave the first commandment to Adam. This commandment was to dress the Garden of Eden. We continued our discussion last week on the subject of Yahweh commanding Adam to keep the seventh day as the Sabbath of Yahweh. We fashioned our subject matter more specifically on who changed the time from the vernal equinox, the time decreed by Yahweh, to January. We presented some compelling facts that clearly showed that Julius Caesar, who had the blessing of the Roman Catholic Church, decreed that the year began with the 1st of January, not with the vernal equinox as decreed by Yahweh. We pointed out that Julius Caesar put this decree into effect in a form of a calendar, the Julian calendar, which was replaced by the Gregorian calendar. We gave you the facts to show that the Gregorian calendar is a corrected form of the Julian calendar, which was introduced by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582 and is now being used in most countries of the world. It was explained that the word decree means the same as law. Therefore, Julius Caesar made it a law that the year began with the 1st of January. It was made clear that Julius Caesar did not have the supreme authority to set time in motion. Solar year was defined, and from this definition, we learn that the only one who has the supreme authority to command the sun to cross the plane of the Earth's equator, making night and day of approximately equal length all over the earth, is Yahweh himself. We read Leviticus chapter 23, verses 4 and 5, which pointed out that Adam and his descendants were to proclaim the feasts of Yahweh, even his holy convocations, in their seasons, which means in their months and days. After gathering all the facts, we made it known that Julius Caesar, with the approval of the head of the Roman Catholic Church, changed the numerical order and numbering cycle of the months and days as decreed by Yahweh. Why? So that the descendants of Adam could neither keep the feasts, holy convocations, nor the seventh day, which are laws decreed by Yahweh in their appointed months and days. Today, we shall continue to discuss the specifics of the direct commandment that Yahweh gave to Adam in the Garden of Eden, which was to dress it. The word dress in Hebrew is abad, and one of its meanings is worshiper. Worshiper is synonymous to celebrant. Celebrant is defined as a person who celebrates. Celebrates with respect to dress shows forth the fact that Yahweh commanded Adam, his descendants, and all the families of the earth to observe the seventh day as the Sabbath of Yahweh, to honor, reflect upon, and show great respect to Yahweh for all his creation which he, Yahweh, created and made. For several weeks, we have been discussing what constitutes the seventh day. Millions of people today believe they are keeping the seventh day as the Sabbath on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Why? Because Satan has changed the times and the laws to deceive them and the whole world to believe that these days are in fact the seventh day. Let us present to you how this all happened. Let us open the Bible and read Daniel chapter 7 verse 25, and it reads in part, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws." The key which unlocks the specifics of how this all happened is hidden in the word think. According to the Synonym Finder by J.I. Rodale, copyright 1978, on page 1229, the word think means the same as reckon. On page 995, the word reckon is synonymous to name. Keep in mind that the names of the days of the week are not in the Bible. In the Bible, Yahweh numbered the days, and this can be verified in Genesis chapter 1, verses 5, 8, 13, 19, 23, 31, and in Genesis chapter 2, verse 2. We see from these scriptures that Yahweh numbered the days based on the 24-hour period from sunset to sunset, during which the earth rotates once on its axis with respect to the sun. We showed you in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, that Yahweh said to use the measurement of a day from sunset to number the days in a month and to number the days in a year. Knowing this, what did Satan do? Satan changed the days of Yahweh from numbered days and instead named the days and the months. Why was it necessary for Satan to think, which means to name, the days and the months in a year? The answer is simple. Satan named the days of the week, and he also named the 12 months because he opposes Yahweh in every way. Why? Because Satan desires to be worshipped in the place of Yahweh, according to Isaiah chapter 14, verses 13 and 14, which reads in part, "For thou, Satan, hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." Therefore, in order for Satan to appear to be like the Most High, Yahweh, and to deceive the whole world, it was necessary for him, Satan, to change the times and the laws of Yahweh. Thus Satan named the days and the months, so the descendants of Adam would not know the proper times, days, nor the proper seasons, months, in which to keep the laws of Yahweh. Let us prove how he did this. Documented in the Encyclopedia Americana, International Edition, copyright 1993, volume 28, on page 571, it reads, and I quote, "Sunday was set as the first day of the week in 321 AD by Emperor Constantine, who also established the 7-day week in the Roman calendar and promulgated it to the Christian world. Subsequently, the names given to the days of the week in Latin were adapted through various Germanic languages until they assumed their present designations in English as follows: Sunday, the day assigned to the sun. Monday, the day assigned to the moon. Tuesday, assigned to Mars, the Roman god of war, who was associated with the Teutonic god called Tew in Anglo-Saxon, hence the name Tuesday. Wednesday, assigned to Mercury. This Roman god was associated with the Teutonic god called Woden in Anglo-Saxon, and his day of the week accordingly became Woden's Day. Thursday, assigned to the Roman god Jupiter, who was identified with the Teutonic god Thor. Thus originated Thor's Day. Friday, assigned to Venus, the Roman goddess of love and beauty. In Teutonic mythology, the corresponding goddess was Freya, who was later confused with Frigg, wife of Odin, hence Frigg's Day. Saturday, assigned to Saturnus, the Roman god of agriculture, which yielded Saturn's Day. End quote. As you can see, Satan changed the days from numbers and named all of them after pagan gods, more specifically Roman gods. Last week, we learned that Julius Caesar, with the approval of the Catholic Church, made it a law that the year began with the 1st of January and not with the vernal equinox as decreed by Yahweh. Now we see today that Emperor Constantine set Sunday as the first day of the week, and he also established the 7-day week in the Roman calendar and promulgated it to the Christian world. We also see from these facts that the Roman Catholic Church, who acknowledges the Pope as its head, approved and promulgated laws that were and still are in direct opposition to the laws of the Creator, Yahweh, through the Christian world. Yahweh commanded Adam, his descendants, and all the families of the earth to observe the 7th day as the Sabbath of Yahweh, to honor, reflect upon, and show great respect to Yahweh for all his creation, which he, Yahweh, created and made. Millions of people today believe they are keeping the Sabbath day on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because Satan has deceived them and the whole world to believe that these days are the 7th day, when in fact they are days named after pagan gods. By assigning names to the days of the week, Satan has the descendants of Adam, as well as the families of the earth, giving honor and showing great respect to pagan gods instead of the Creator, Yahweh. Satan knew that by establishing a 7-day week and by naming the days, all the families of the earth would keep the 7th day as the Sabbath of Yahweh on a day that was decreed by man, instead of the day that was decreed by God, Yahweh. Next week, we will continue with our discussion of dress, with respect to the 7th day as the Sabbath of Yahweh. I bear witness to you today that the Messiah, Yahweh ben Yahweh, is here.
I bear witness to you today that the Mahdi is here.
I bear witness to you today that Shiloh is here.
I bear witness to you today that the great light is here.
I bear witness to you today that the Grand Master of the Celestial Lodge, Architect of the universe, is here.
I bear witness to you today that the Enlightened One is here.
I bear witness to you today that the one all religions have been speaking of for almost 6,000 years is here.
Thank you for listening, and join us next week as we continue our discussion of the commandments of Yahweh.
is worthy? Who is worthy to open the book? Who is worthy to open the book and loose the seals thereof?
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. At the end of time of evil rule, the Anointed One, the Messiah, shall appear. In 1979, Yahweh Ben Yahweh came to Miami and became the spiritual leader and founder of the Nation of Yahweh. Although he took a vow of poverty, in 7 years he guided the nation to amass a $250 million empire. Under his direction, the Nation of Yahweh has grown to encompass disciples, followers, and supporters in over 1,300 cities within the U.S. and 16 foreign countries. Yahweh Ben Yahweh is bringing about changes in the lives of individuals and is giving the world the keys to success in life, politically, economically, educationally, socially, and spiritually.
Now consider for a moment how great this man was, unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the tenth. Hebrews chapter 7, verses 1 through 4. This is clear proof that Abraham actually saw and talked with the Son of Man, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, when he appeared to him in the plains of Mamre, as recorded in Genesis chapter 18. This theophany, appearance of Yahweh to man, is Yahweh Ben Yahweh. The New Testament clearly teaches that Yahweh Ben Yahweh existed co-eternally with Yahweh the Father. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yahweh, and the Word was Yahweh, as verified in John chapter 1, verse 1. This clearly demonstrates the eternal existence of Yahweh Ben Yahweh rather than the time he appeared on earth.
Logos, the word in Greek, is given to describe existence of Yahweh Ben Yahweh at the beginning and to describe his intelligence. Yahweh Ben Yahweh originated everything that is, and then he became the Word, which is the expression that explains his intelligence, which is undiscoverable except through the revelation of Yahweh and the Scriptures. For the invisible things of Yahweh Ben Yahweh from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead. Romans chapter 1, verse 20. Before there was any beginning, the Word had been, and the Word has been toward Yahweh, and Yahweh had been the Word. The person of Yahweh Ben Yahweh is referred to in his eternal state of being in the following verses. John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, and the Word was with Yahweh, and the Word was Yahweh. Verse 2. The same was in the beginning with Yahweh. Verse 4. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Verse 8. He, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, is that light. That was the true light, which lights every man that comes into the world. Verse 10. He, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, is in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knows him not. Verse 14. And the Word, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, is made flesh, and is dwelling among us today. And we, the believers, behold his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of Yahweh, full of grace and truth.
Remember that this is the morning of the third day, and I shall rise again. I am the resurrection. All of prophecy tells you that I shall rise again. It's all about that. Luke chapter 2, verse 34. No doubt about it. Again, I love you forever, bless you forever. I remind you once again, my associates are children of the light. That just brings laughter to my heart, to my soul, to realize that at last I have those of you that love peace. And I only want to be in the presence of those of you that love peace. I love you forever. Shalom Aleichem.
Yahweh ben Yahweh is the way, the truth, and the life. He is the Word made flesh and is dwelling among us today. However, his divine mind can only be discovered through the revelations of Yahweh and the Scriptures. As the Scriptures foretold, only the true believers and the pure in heart shall behold his glory, the glory as the only begotten of Yahweh. Thank you for joining us in the universe of Yahweh. And now we'd like to invite all of you to pray with us as we turn to the east with outstretched hands and say a prayer to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Come, let us pray. Tefillah, Ave Nu Shabbat Shemayim, Yikar Deshemeaka, Tavo Malkuteaka, Yase Razonka, Kiva Shemayim Kain Ba'aretz, Et Lekem Kukenu, Tain La Nu Hayom, Uslak La Nu, Al Kati Enu, Kimo Shasol Kim, Gamanaknu, La Koteom La Nu, Veal Tefienu, La De Nisayom, Kim Kal Senu, Min Hara, Kilaka, Hamumlaha, Veha Givera, Veha Tiferet, Leolame, Olamin Sila. We thank thee, O Yahweh, O living and eternal King, who has so mercifully restored our souls within us. Selah. Praise Yahweh, and always remember that the Father, Yahweh, and his Son, Yahweh ben Yahweh, love you, and your host loves you too. Shalom Aleichem.
To order the companion book to the series, The Messiah Revealed, call 1-800-967-PEACE. That's 1-800-967-7337. And when you call, ask about the special discount on fruits from the Tree of Life. Videos of this program are available. When ordering, please refer to the program number on the screen.
You can now access the divine mind of Yahweh ben Yahweh on the internet at the address on the screen.